Hello everyone, and today I will be doing a stylistic analysis of the poem Fire and Ice by Robert Frost, right? So basically, as you can see, this is the poem. You may read it, pause the video to take in the poem and read it as a whole, but don't worry, I will also be taking in the lines to explain my detailed analysis in the future slides. So continuing on, the first is the graphological level. So the graphological level analyzes how the poem is written, not the words, not the figures of speech, not the sounds, it's just how it was written. How many full stops does it have? How many commas? How many colons? How many semicolons? How many lines, right? So as you can see in this poem, Fire and Ice, it's a single stanza, 9 lines. All lines start off with a capital letter, expressing the importance of the information in the lines. So 3 lines end in a full stop. When lines end in a full stop, that is when you pause. You either take in the main point, or you either dislocate the idea coming from the previous sentence with the next sentence. So line to line, you stop, take in the idea. 2 lines end in the comma. Now, when it ends in a comma, you don't take a long stop like when it ends in a full stop. You take a brief, quick break in reading it, so not to dislodge the ideas with one another. So you read 1 line, full comma, you stop, take in that idea, and then move on to the next line, because those 2 ideas will probably be a continuation, but they won't clash with one another. Next up, we have the phonological level. So the phonological level aims to deal with sounds, right? Now, the rhyme scheme, the sound in the poem Fire and Ice is ABA, ABC, BCB. Later, I would like to explain it further at the end of the phonological level analysis, right? So the poem consists of 9 lines, combination of 2 and 4 iambic feet. So it's either got 2 feet or 4 feet in the poem. This will be explained later. So it is about unstressed syllables being followed by stressed, right? So there's 2 phonological features that you can see. Well, there's more than 2, but 2 on this slide. The first is alliteration. Alliteration is repetition of the same sound word in the beginning. So the F word that appears in the words, the F letter that appears in 3 words in line 3 and 4. So it starts at the start of the letter, that is alliteration, and it appears constantly within those lines as to show the similarity in sound between those lines. And then the second feature is assonance. Now, assonance is the effect created when 2 syllables in words that are close together and have same vowel sound but different consonants, or the same consonants but different vowels, right? So in this case, in the 4th line, the same vowel is O, different consonants, and in line 5 the same vowel is I, even if different consonants, right? So as I was saying earlier, not just 2, there's 3. This is consonants that appears. Consonants is a half rhyme in which final consonants are repeated but with different preceding vowels. So as you can see that in line 6, N creates a consonant, no, right? In line 7, the letter T creates a consonant, that, right? So as you can see, that is consonants. Now, this was what I was mentioning earlier, the idea of iambic, tetrameter and diameter, 4 feet and 2 feet, right? So as you can see, the bold-faced words are stressed and italics are unstressed. So you can see the relations between the stressed words and the unstressed words in reading the poem. So as you can read it by yourself, probably some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. And you continuously read on and you can find out the stressed and unstressed parts, which is the phonological level of analysis in the poem itself, right? Next up, we have the morphological level. Now, most of the words in the poem are root words, which means there are words that stand alone without any additional morphs on them, right? But there are non-root words, for example, tasted. So this non-root word was created by adding the suffix ed. So, when you want to change a root word into a non-root, you either add suffixes, prefixes, circumfixes, right? But in this case, in the poem, most of the words were root words, as you can see in the poem itself. Next up, we have the lexical level. Now, the lexical level are the word classes that exist inside a poem. I've put it up, as you can see in the slide. The major words are words with 4 letters or more. Those are mostly major words. And then you have verbs, nouns. There are no adjectives found within the poem, which is quite shocking. But then there's all the other word classes do exist, and you can check it by yourself in the slide. Next up, we have the syntactic level. Now, syntactic level deals with sentences, right? So out of the 9 lines, there are 3 sentences that make up the poem. First, second sentence are complex. Third sentence is compound complex, right? The poem starts off with 2 alliterative opening lines with some say, which makes us question who says it. Who says these ideas? Is it an expert? Is it just someone randomly on the street? And then you can see that in the 3rd line, and all the other lines, there exists some sort of idea retaining to the syntactic level of analysis. Next up, we have the semantic level, right? As you can see, there are parallelism in the idea of some say. There is symbolism, where fire and ice is a symbolic importance. Fire is desire, ice is hatred and destruction, right? Allusion is also used, talking about a historical place, event, or person. Fire is global warming, ice is the ice age. And then imagery, some say the world will end in fire. To say that for destruction, ice is also great. It gives us the image of how it most likely would end. Personification, it gives form and life to fire and ice, giving it the power to be able to destroy things, right? So in conclusion, the poem is a simple and peerless one. The words are easy to understand. The poem mostly talks about whether or not the world will end in fire and ice and which one you would favor more. Would you want to burn in passion or would you want to freeze in hatred? Thank you for listening. I hope it helps. See you in another time.